Hi, my name is Heath. I'm with City Chick, and in this video we're going to talk about chicken feeders and which one is right for your flock. Now, I've been raising chickens for several years and I've used lots of different styles of feeders, and hopefully some of the information that I share with you is going to help you make the decision of buying a feeder that's right for you. Now, I want you to know you don't have to go to the store and buy a feeder. You can always build your own. I've built lots of little feeders here, just like this one. It's my PVC feeder. It was designed to kind of help reduce waste. Probably all cost of materials. This roughly cost me about probably $15 at most with some of the clips and stuff that I've put on here. Probably takes me roughly 10-15 minutes to build. Really easy to make. There are hundreds of videos out there about how to build your own chicken feeder. But basically, if you don't have the time or if you just want to do something simple, I'm going to cover some of these other feeders that are available online or at your local feed store. Now, I'm going to start off with kind of the trough style feeder here. Now, I love these because these are great for baby chicks. Feeds a lot of baby chicks one time. They got little holes here. Chickens basically stick their head in here. It helps reduce waste with baby chicks. These work out really well. Now, I tried to use these for my older hens and for grit and for crushed oyster shell. They didn't work out too well. These got really dirty really fast and a lot of debris got inside these holes. So I don't recommend using these for older hens, but these really do work really well for baby chicks. Now, the next up, we've got one of these plastic style feeders. This is a quart size, and these are really super cheap, really inexpensive. Will normally run you usually about $3 to $5, and again, it's got the same little small round style holes here. Baby chicks stick their heads through here. Now, these are really great to use. Save these, don't throw these away. These come in really handy. You can fill these up with crushed oyster shell and grit for your other hens once they get out to the coop. And these also come in really handy if you have a sick or injured hen and she's in chicken hospital. These come in really, really handy. So again, really nice to have around. We're gonna kind of switch over to the hanging style feeders. This is your standard 3-pound hanging feeder. Nothing really to say about this guy. Really simple. I love to use these, and I love to put crushed oyster shell in these in our cedar chicken tractors. These basically hang. 3 full-grown adult hens will go through 3 pounds of crushed oyster shell, usually 2 to 3 months. So I don't even think about these. Like, I fill this up with supplements and I go. Now, I don't like to use these for my full-grown hens because I have a lot of chickens. I'd be refilling these things constantly. So if you have a small amount of chickens, if you've got a small flock of 1 or 2, or if you have some bantams, this is a good way to go. Again, you can use these in a little chicken hospital, little chicken quarantine zone. Come in really handy. Usually right around 10 bucks. And over here, we've got a 7-pound hanging feeder. These are really simple. It's got a little kind of cone shape here so the feed kind of flows down. I use these for our cedar chicken tractors as well. The feed hangs, and basically the 7 pounds, in my experience, 3 full-grown hens will go through 7 pounds of feed, generally every 2 to 3 days. Now, that's going to depend on the number of chickens that you have, the breed that you have, and the time of year, but generally speaking, when I fill this up, it'll usually last about 2 to 3 days. These will run you anywhere between $10 to $15. Really nice to have around, really basic kind of hanging feeder. Now, we've got a Big Daddy hanging feeder. This guy generally holds right around 25 pounds, all right? Now, I was using these in all of my coops. I have 5 big, large style coops out there, a lot of chickens, like I said. And I was using these and all. I had 2 of them hanging and 50 pounds of feed, but then what I discovered is my chickens were wasting. My chickens were getting in there, just pulling out the feed that they didn't want, and I use New Country Organic soy-free feed, and it is expensive. I'm not gonna lie. It's pricey, but I know it's the best stuff out there. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to try to cut down on the amount of waste that my chickens were doing. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. However, these large style feeders, I still break out when I go on vacation. I love filling up these feeders, and going out of town, so that way whenever I have somebody coming and checking on my chickens while I'm on vacation, they normally don't even have to touch the feeders. All I ask them to do is to collect their eggs. Now, I have another video about going on vacation and tips that you can do about what to do to help to prepare you to go on vacation if you want to check that out. I'm going to set this down over here, but that is the 25-pound hanging feeder. Again, comes in really handy if you're going on vacation or if you got a lot of chickens to feed. Now, we're going to talk about the Rugged Ranch feeder. Now, when I transitioned from these over to these, I set these up in my coops and I noticed a huge savings in my feed bill. Basically, this holds 10 pounds of feed. This, you take off the lid here, put it in. Now, I love this because this really keeps my feed dry. And if you know, you've got to keep your feed dry. You don't want moldy feed. If you want to keep your chickens healthy, keep your feed dry. And it's got this little, the feed comes down the tube. It's got this little spout here. Chickens stick their head in, and it's got another little spout which helps control the amount of feed that comes out. Basically, this is great because it helps reduce the amount of feed that's wasted. Only one chicken can stick their head in there at a time. Now, full disclosure, your chickens are still going to figure out a way to waste feed. However, it's nothing like the hanging feeders, okay? And you're going to need to get, I've got 7 chickens inside my coop number 1. I've got 3 of these installed. If you have anything more than 3 chickens, I would consider getting at least 1 or 2 more of these, just so that way everybody has access to the feed. But what's great is, since I have 3 of these feeders installed inside coop number 1 up there, we fill up 30 pounds of feed, and that generally lasts my 7 chickens, you know, at least a good solid 3 or 4 days, probably a little bit more. Now, just a few things, you know, it's gonna keep stuff like squirrels. If you have an issue with mice or rodents, they're gonna have a really hard time getting in here, getting to your feed. You know, a lot better that if you have these things sitting on the ground where things can crawl in and get to them. This stuff, I really love the Rugged Ranch feeders. However, one of the downside is in Georgia, it's extremely humid here, and you're gonna need to clean out your feeders. Probably, my suggestion is once every 6 months. The New Country Organics soy-free feed can tend to clump up with moisture, so just make sure you keep an eye on it. Clean these things out, use a hose, use a pressure washer, clean these guys out. You really should be keeping your feeders clean anyway for sanitary reasons. But these, again, Rugged Ranch feeder will run you anywhere between $40 to $45, but a really good investment. Now, the big daddy. This is the Grandpa's feeder. These are really cool. Basically, you put the feed in here. If you get that top off, you basically put the feed right here. And what you do is your chickens then become trained to step on this tray right here. That opens up and your chickens will basically eat from here, and then they step off, and then that closes off the feed. That closes off the all-you-can-eat buffet. And so you step up, that opens up, and shut down. Now, it does come with a little bit of training. When you first set this out there, you can't just set it out there and just expect your chickens to get it. They won't. The first week, you set it out, it stays open all the time. Week number 2, it has a little screws that come in here. Basically, it stays halfway open. The chickens start to learn how to step on this, and then so they don't panic. And then week number 3, they should pick it up. Now, your smartest chicken, and there's always a smart chicken in every flock, one will figure it out, and then the rest will follow. And now that comes out, and then so in that way, that greatly reduces the amount of feed that's being wasted. It also prevents stuff like mice and rodents from getting in and getting to your really expensive feed. Comes in really handy, and then plus, it never gets old watching a chicken step on this and feed. I mean, it's hysterical to watch. But that's the Grandpa's feeder. Now, the downside to this is these are normally really expensive. These are roughly about $140 to $150 online. There are some cheaper knockoff brand versions out there. Just be careful if you buy one of the cheaper versions. I know this is really well made, you know, great quality. The other cheap versions may not last as long. But that's it. That's my video about feeders. If I did not cover a video, or if I did not cover a specific feeder that you love to use, please leave that in the comments. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. or subscribe to the channel. Would love to hear from you. You could always send me an email at Heath, Heath, at citychickatl.com. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.